So for this video, we're going to be making an illusion necklace. Now, an illusion necklace looks like the beads are actually floating around your neck, and it looks pretty cool. I really love this style of necklace. I think it's super pretty and super cute, so I'm excited to show you today how to make it. Now, if you don't want to do these exact colors, if you want to use different beads in the kit, go ahead. But if you want to do this exact same necklace we are doing in this video, then this is what you're going to need. You're going to need your wire. You're going to need your beads. So I have 3 silver, 3 blue, and 3 clear, all rondelles, all the same size. Super cute. I have my lobster clasp. I have 2 split rings, and I have 22 crimping beads. You're gonna be using a lot of crimping beads for this necklace. And then of course your tools. You always wanna have your tools with you. I have my cutter tools, my long nose pliers, and then my round nose pliers. And then also, for me, I like making it absolutely symmetrical. I like the beads to be exactly the same length apart. And so I usually mark on a paper 1 inch, 2 inch, and 3 inch. And so that I measure it every time I put a bead on. I measure how far apart they need to be. Now, if you don't have a measuring tape, you can just get a simple piece of paper and put 2 dots on it, and then that's the length your beads are going to be apart. And so they're going to be like that apart. And so you're going to use this every time because you want to be symmetrical. I mean, if you want to go crazy and have all different lengths that they're apart, go ahead, you be you. But I like it where they are the exact same length apart. And also, we don't have it with the Deluxe Jewelry Making Kit, but you're going to need a marker for this particular necklace because you're going to want to be marking how far apart you're going to be and stuff. And so that's what you're gonna need. I'm super excited. So the first thing you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna cut your wire. I usually recommend don't cutting your wire, but in this case, for this particular necklace, you're gonna wanna cut your wire. We're gonna make a 17-inch necklace today. We're making a 17-inch necklace in this video. And so I'm gonna be cutting a 19-inch wire. So whatever length you want your necklace, if you want 16 inches, you need to add 2 inches onto that. So you need to be cutting 18 inches. If you want a 17-inch necklace, you need to be cutting it to 19 inches. Because those 2 extra inches are for your clasp at the end. And so it's super important that you don't just cut the wire to the size necklace you want. You need to cut always 2 inches more. So if you want an 18-inch necklace to wear, then you need to be cutting it 20 inches. Okay, so I've already cut my wire. Again, we're doing a 17-inch necklace. I cut my wire 19 inches. So I already did that. That's the first step. So cut your wire for however long you want it. And so the first thing after that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get 2 crimping beads. I'm gonna get 2 crimping beads. So I'm gonna get 1 and then 2. And then I have my crimping beads. You see that right there? Okay, so what you're gonna need to do now is you're gonna need to get your split ring and you're gonna need to open it up. So you need to open it up. And we've already done split rings in another video, so go check out that video on how to use split rings. So I open up my split ring and then I put it through, and then you need to close up your gap. You need to make sure your gap is closed up all the way. If you have a gap, you don't want any gap whatsoever. You want it so they're kind of nose to nose. They're exactly the same place, because if there's any gap, then your necklace is gonna fall apart. And so I just want to encourage you, do not have any gap. So I got my 2 crimping beads. I'm gonna put my split ring with my lobster clasp here, and then I'm gonna put my wire around the split ring. I'm gonna put it around the split ring, and I'm gonna put both my crimping beads through. Do you see this? I'm putting both crimping beads through. So then make sure there's a little give. You want this to be a little loose. So then I'm going to crimp the crimping bead that's closest to my lobster clasp. Don't crimp both of them, just crimp one of them, okay? And the reason we have 2 is we don't want exposed wire. If we have exposed wire, it will hurt the person that is gonna wear it, whether you're gonna wear it or somebody else is gonna wear it. So cut your wire, do you see this? Cut your wire as pretty close. Cut your wire, and then you're going to get your crimping bead at the end of your wire and you're going to crimp it so there's no exposed wire. So that the first crimping bead closest to the lobster clasp is to actually hold the lobster clasp in place, and then this crimping bead is to make sure there's no wire loose. Now you'd be like, well, why can't you just have a really short wire right here? Because I have found that when you just use one crimping bead for this particular necklace on one side, that the wire slips out. And so I just prefer to have as much integrity on my jewelry piece as possible. So I do two. So this one is to hold, this one's to hold the wire so it doesn't scratch the person wearing it. This is to hold the lobster clasp. Okay. So then the first thing after that is I am just going to measure 1 inch from my crimping, my crimping bead furthest from my lobster clasp. I'm going to measure this crimping bead, and I am going to put a mark right here. I'm going to put a mark right here, and no one's going to be able to see that but you. And so I am going to take a crimping bead. I'm going to take a crimping bead, and I'm going to put it all the way down. And I'm going to find right here is where my mark is. And so I'm going to take my crimping bead and put it exactly on the mark, and I'm going to crimp it. Oh, do you see that? So, okay. So you have your lobster clasp, your 2 crimping beads, and then I measured just 1 inch. I measured 1 inch, and I'm going to put my first crimping bead. Now you can do whatever design you want. I'm going to do a silver one first. So I'm putting my silver bead. And in order to keep this bead in place, I need to put another crimping bead. You don't have to measure this second crimping bead. You just need to put it on and crimp. Get it all the way. I lost my crimping bead. Okay, so you need to get your crimping bead on. Get your crimping bead on and get it all the way down next to your bead and put it as close to your bead as possible, and then crimp it. Do you see that? So crimping bead, bead, and then crimping bead. Ah, this is so cute. So again, you just want to make it between your lobster clasp and your first bead. You just want to do 1 inch. You don't want to do a big gap. But then I'm actually going to space my beads 2 inches apart, because you can do 1 inch or you can do 3 inches, whatever you think is prettiest for you, whatever you like the most. But I like doing 2 inches apart because I like the space. I like how many crimping beads I have to use. I have to use 22, so might as well just space them out a bit more to use less crimping beads. And so I do it 2 inches apart from now on. So all the beads will be 2 inches apart. So I already marked 2 inches on my wire, and I am going to take my crimping bead and I am going to crimp it where I marked it. Haha, do you see that? And I'm going to do the blue one next. Put my blue rondelle bead, and then I'm going to put another crimping bead. Yeah, do you see that? This is such a cute necklace. And I'm going to crimp the next crimping bead on there. Oh, do you see that? Okay, so let me show you again. So where I'm measuring, I am measuring the crimping bead that's going to be closest to the next bead. So here's my crimping bead on this side, and I am going to measure 2 inches from this crimping bead all the way to here. Yeah, so I marked it. And then I'm going to get my crimping bead. And it's honestly a really easy necklace once you get the hang of it. It's also kind of tedious too, but it's fun. I think most necklaces are pretty tedious. And then I'm going to take my crimping bead and I'm going to crimp it where I marked it, the 2 inches. And I'm going to, I love it. Oh, this is so cute. This is so cute. How cute is this? Okay, and so I'm going to get my crimping bead and I'm going to crimp it. See, look at this. And I'm going to crimp it right next to the bead. Isn't that so cute? This is going to be, and it's going to look so cute on you or whoever you make it for. And so you're going to continue to do this pattern. Crimping bead, bead, crimping bead, 2 inches. Crimping bead, bead, crimping bead, 2 inches. Crimping bead, bead, crimping bead, 2 inches. So you're going to do that through the whole thing. And it's going to look so cute. So we actually ended up only using 8 beads, which is fine because it still looks super cute. So now I need to put my clasp on, and so I want to use my split ring, and I am going to close it up to make sure there's no gap. Make sure there's no gap, yeah. I'm going to make sure there's no gap, and then I am going to use 2 crimping beads. Use 2 crimping beads and put them both on. Make sure you put them both on. Use 2 crimping beads, put them both on, and then I am going to put my split ring. So what happens, it needs to be like this. It needs to be 2 crimping beads and 1 split ring, and I'm going to loop my wire around my split ring, and then I am going to put both of my crimping beads through the wire, just like that. Make sure you have a little bit of movement. You don't want it too tight. And then I'm going to take my crimping bead and crimp it, and then again I'm going to put this crimping bead at the very end of my wire so I don't poke anybody. And there you go. There you have it with 1 less bead, and that is okay. Sometimes you just gotta improvise, and that is okay. But look at this cute necklace. We're gonna hook it up. We're gonna hook it together. Oh my goodness, it's so cute. I love it. How pretty is that? That is so pretty. So that is your illusion necklace. It looks totally like it's floating. It's gonna look like it's floating on your neck. And I just think it is so pretty. I can't even stand it. And so, thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure you watch our other videos to learn more about making your own jewelry. And I'll see you on the next one. All right, talk to you later. Bye.